Hi everybody, welcome back to Sunshine Soap and Candle Company. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how to make your own laundry detergent from scratch. Now there are lots of ways to make your own laundry soap or laundry detergent. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how to make a liquid detergent soap, and I'll be going into detail when we get into the video about why I've chosen to show you this method. There are also lots of benefits to creating your own laundry detergent. The main one being that it's super cost effective, meaning over the course of a year you'll save a lot more money making detergent versus buying it. You can also customize it, so if you have sensitive skin, you can use very simple, clean ingredients that are biodegradable, ones that are not going to irritate you like some other harsh detergents that you can find in your store-bought or commercial brand liquid detergents. And last, you can customize it to your favorite fragrance or essential oil. You can add dyes or leave them out if you just want to make it a super skin-friendly formula. So there's ways to customize this. It's super fun to make, very, very easy. In this video today, I'm going to be going over my step-by-step visual process and tutorial, and also be explaining to you why I've decided to go with the liquid detergent versus some other types that you can make at home. And if you would like the full written recipe with percentages and a detailed full step-by-step tutorial, please head on over to my Patreon campaign. This formula will be available at just the $5 level. I'll go ahead and place the link to my campaign in the description box below for you. Just at the $5 level, there are hundreds of recipes and tutorials for you to take advantage of. And at the $7 level, you can access every recipe that's ever been published. There's a ton to take advantage of over there, including things like solid dish soaps if you're interested in other cleaning products like this. But we have areas of candle making, tons of hair care and skincare formulas. We also offer things like live monthly hangouts, monthly gift packages, and coupon codes to my favorite suppliers upon sign up. There's so much to take advantage of. I have over 3,000 makers in the community now. It's been a great experience. I hope you join us, especially coming up into the new year. It's a great way to start learning a new hobby or to ramp up a skill that you already have. All right, let's make some laundry detergent. All right, so as I mentioned in the intro, we're going to be making a liquid laundry detergent today. And there are several reasons for that, and I'll explain as we go along. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and weigh off the surfactants used in this formula. The surfactants are detergents that are going to cleanse your clothes. It's going to draw up the oil and dirt from your clothing and rinse it cleanly away. And so the first surfactant we're going to be using is some SLES, sodium lauryl ether sulfate. That's different than sodium lauryl sulfate, which can be irritating to people's skin. This is much gentler, and this is plant derived, as all the surfactants that I'm going to be using today are. They're all plant derived. So this is a very gentle surfactant. You see this in a lot of shampoos and body washes, so you know it's going to be safe also for your clothing. So we're weighing off our SLES. Now, the reason I have decided to go with a liquid detergent versus the other type of laundry soap that you can make is actually made from soap. Cold processed soap is much, much different than a surfactant detergent based system. And you can take a cold processed soap bar and shred it and then combine it with other ingredients like washing soda and baking soda to create a laundry soap. Now, if that's something that you've been doing and it's working for you, by all means, continue to do that. I'm not here to tell you that that's right or wrong. I just know that I have decided to go with a liquid detergent formula because I live in an area that has hard water. So if you're in an area that has hard water, you may notice you get things like soap scum buildup on the ring of your tub, like the ring around the tub or your shower. That's soap scum. That's your soap reacting with the actual soap, reacting with the minerals in the hard water. So imagine what that is doing to your bathtub if you live in an area like that. That can actually also happen to your washer. You can get the buildup in your washer, meaning it won't rinse all the way out, and then you get the buildup into your clothes, and your clothes don't actually get clean. So again, if that's working for you, meaning you live in an area where you can use that type of soap with no issue. However, I do not, and most people in California don't have soft water. So we are gonna go with a detergent-based liquid soap because this will rinse completely out of your washer and your clothing, and you can also make it super gentle. So the next surfactant that we're using is cocamidopropyl betaine, and this is also another very, very gentle surfactant found in lots of shampoos, body washes, facial washes. It's made from plants, coconuts to be exact. So as you can see, we're making this very gentle. So if you're someone that has sensitive skin, this is a really good formula for you, especially if you decide to keep it dye and fragrance free. And then we're gonna go ahead and combine this with the last surfactant here. And the last one that we're using is decyl glucoside, also a very gentle surfactant, plant-based, biodegradable. All of these surfactants that we're using are biodegradable, making them very eco-friendly. Decyl glucoside is very gentle, as with the other surfactants that I've decided to use here in this formula. And you may be wondering a little bit about how this works if you have a high efficiency washing machine. Well, I have a high efficiency washing machine, and I have formulated this to work with high efficiency machines, meaning we're not going to get so many suds and bubbles and lather that the machine can't handle it. So that's really what that means. If you get a soap that is not compatible with your high efficiency washer, it usually means it has too much lather and bubbles for your machine to handle. So I have developed this in such a way that your HE washer can handle it, and I'll show you a little demo at the end of this video. So now that the surfactants are in here, we're gonna go ahead and add in the distilled water. First, I'm gonna go ahead and give this a little bit of a mix. I wanted to show you what happens to these surfactants right when they're combined, especially when they're cold like this. You could warm this up and kind of remedy this situation, but you don't have to. I'm gonna give my surfactants a little bit of a stir, and as you can see, they like to clump up all together. So don't worry, your water will dissolve all of this and you'll get a nice and homogeneous formula. But I wanted to show you that because I know that if you do decide to make this, you might have a question regarding that. So that's okay. We're just going to go ahead and add in our distilled water. All right, as you can see, we're kicking up some bubbles here because now we've added in some water. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a little bit of a stir just to get this going and combined. Again, you're going to see the surfactants now will start to break up and dissipate into the water, creating a nice homogeneous formula. That can take a little while with a formula like this for everything to get all broken up. So you can let it sit to dissolve. You don't have to stir like I'm doing right now, and just let time do its thing. I'm going to add a little bit of rubbing alcohol so I can kill some of those bubbles. And we're just going to allow this to kind of dissolve down. And I'll bring you right back when we're ready for the next step. All right, we are back, and all the surfactant has now dissolved perfectly. It took, it takes time. It takes probably about a half an hour to 45 minutes with just stirring it and watching it, and you don't have to stir it constantly. You might kick up too many bubbles if you do that, but you could also just make it the night before and allow the surfactant to dissolve, or apply heat to the water before you add the water in. That will hasten the process a little bit. So now this is all homogeneous, and we're going to go ahead and add in the last couple ingredients here, which include the fragrance, the preservative, and then we're going to thicken it up. So for the fragrance today, we're using a beautiful fragrance called Freesia Bubble Bath. This is by Brambleberry, and it is just a nice, clean, and fresh smelling. It's got a little bit of a top floral note, but it's definitely more clean and soapy smelling than flowery. So we're going to go ahead and add in our fragrance oil. You could always use essential oils here. Just make sure you're following usage rates. All right. We're going to go ahead and give that a little stir. That might temporarily cloud up this formula, but it does eventually go back to being perfectly clear. And I'll show you that at the end of the video. So as you can see, it's clouding up, but it will not stay that way. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and add in our fragrance oil, or actually we're going to be adding in our preservative, excuse me. So for today we're going to be using Liquid Germall Plus. This is from, I got this one from Wholesale Supplies Plus, and the reason we're going with the Liquid Germall Plus is because it's great for watery based ingredients like this, and it works with a wide range of pH. Perfect. We're going to go ahead and stir in that preservative. And now we're going to go ahead and thicken up this formula. So with the laundry detergent, you don't want it super thick like a shower gel, because you want it to disperse as the water runs through your washing machine, but you don't want it super thin either, because then it'll make pouring a little bit more difficult to get the correct amount into your wash. So the way we're going to thicken this up is with a little bit of liquid crothix. This came from, I can't remember where I got this, but a lot of soap suppliers carry crothix. It's a liquid, this is liquid form of it, and it does not take a lot of liquid crothix to thicken up this particular formula. So we're just gonna, this is an as you like type of product, meaning you add in your desired amount to get the desired viscosity. So we're just starting with a little bit because, like I said, this is a great thickener for this formula, because a little bit really makes a big difference. So I'm going for something a little bit like a hand soap consistency, maybe a tiny bit thinner than a hand soap consistency. So you want to give that a few stirs and allow it to really get incorporated before adding any more in, because if you get this too thick, there's not really a whole lot you could do except maybe create a whole nother batch and then add the formula that's too thick to the runny batch. So before you add thickeners to your formula, too, you want to make sure that your formula has come all the way down to room temperature. If you've done anything to apply heat, or if this is a hot process method, you want to make sure your formula is room temperature, because you're not going to get the correct viscosity. You won't know what that is until your formula is at room temp. So I am getting some viscosity here. It's no longer water thin. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more crothix. So we're getting a little bit of bubbles here. Just gonna get that. So this is the viscosity I'm at now, which is pretty good. It's It's like a nice, I guess a runny honey consistency, and it may continue to thicken up just a little bit as the crothix sits in this formula, but that's how this looks. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a visual of what it looks like when it's all the way done. Like right now it looks very cloudy, there's a lot of bubbles incorporated into it. I want to show you the final result. All right, here's the final result. So as you can see, it's a perfectly clear formula. I've made a little label to go on my glass pitcher here. It's a very good viscosity for a liquid detergent. And then when I make a really large batch, I store it in this gallon-sized container. This container is an empty surfactant container that I just rinsed out and repurposed to store larger batches, and then I just refill my container. So I wanted to say real quick too that even though this is not as eco-friendly as maybe a more solid laundry soap like the one I talked about earlier in the video, this is over time going to be much more eco-friendly than purchasing your liquid detergent every single time you run out at the grocery store in those big plastic bins, because you're just going to be ordering the supplies that you need to make it in, which is way less over a year's time than all the soap you would be buying. And also you can reuse your surfactant containers to store your batches. And obviously this is a reusable glass container. All right, let's go do some laundry. All right, here we are. I've got a full load of darks here, and then there's my liquid soap. I'm just going to go ahead and pour a little bit in here. A little note about this as well, you don't need to fill it up to the maximum. On a regular sized load like this, you just can put in maybe half the amount or a couple tablespoons. That's all you need. So most of us use too much liquid laundry detergent. You really don't need that much. Now, if you have a heavily soiled load, like a bunch of dirty towels, you can fill it to the max. I've also done that. You're not going to overwork the machine. You can fill it all the way up if you like. On a heavily soiled load, nothing's going to happen. However, on a load like this size, you don't really need the whole thing filled up. So we're just going to go ahead, and as you can see, we've got this HE wash here. HE washer. I'm just going to go to delicates, and I don't add any softener. Another note on what I currently do for my laundry is I don't use any softeners or liquid softeners in my wash, because that can also gum up your washing machine. What I use now are those little wool dryer balls, and they work great. You just add a little bit of fragrance or essential oil to them, and it takes the static out of your clothing and helps your clothes to dry faster. All right, everybody, that is how you make and use your own liquid laundry detergent. I hope you really liked this video. If you did, please remember to give it a thumbs up. Please leave me comments and questions below. That really means a lot to me. Share this video with a friend and subscribe to my channel. All right, everybody, catch you on the next video. Bye.